What if I told you there are islands on Earth so strange, they feel ripped straight from the pages of science fiction? I'm talking about lands ruled by serpents, an island that seemingly vanished from maps, and a place so alien it's used to simulate life on Mars. Our planet is scattered with these bizarre little worlds. Some are shaped by dark histories, others are home to life found nowhere else on Earth, and a few are so remote they barely register on the globe. But every one of them is very, very real. Today, we're heading to the farthest corners of the planet to uncover 20 islands that defy easy explanation. From places overrun by haunted dolls to islands ruled by extraordinary wildlife. You won't believe these worlds actually exist. And stay tuned, because the strangest islands are waiting at the very end. Kicking off our list at number 20 is a place that challenges the very idea of what an island or even a country can be. The Principality of Sealand. Located in the North Sea, about 13 kilometers off the coast of Suffolk, England, this isn't a natural land mass at all. It's a man-made anti-aircraft platform from World War II, originally known as HM Fort Ruffs. In 1967, a former British Army major named Paddy Roy Bates occupied the platform and declared it a sovereign micronation. Sealand has its own flag, currency, and has even issued its own passports. It has withstood legal challenges, armed invasion attempts, and the unforgiving sea, standing as a defiant symbol of eccentricity and independence. Its strange legal status and the striking image of an isolated steel fortress in the middle of the ocean make it a truly unique human oddity. At number 19, we travel to Japan, to an island that at first seems like a fluffy paradise, but hides a deeply disturbing secret. Welcome to Okunoshima, better known as Rabbit Island. True to its name, the island is teeming with hundreds of friendly, tame rabbits that eagerly approach visitors. But this charming exterior masks a dark past. During World War II, Okunoshima was the secret base for the Imperial Japanese Army's chemical weapons program. For years, the island produced poison gas, a fact so secret it was allegedly erased from some maps. After the war, documents were destroyed, and while one theory suggests the current rabbits are descendants of lab animals, it's more likely they were introduced by school children in the 1970s. Today, tourists flock to see the rabbits, but the abandoned factory ruins serve as a chilling reminder of the island's toxic history. Number 18 takes us beneath the waves to a truly surreal world. On the island of Ailmalk in Palau, there's a marine lake that offers one of the most bizarre swimming experiences on Earth. It's called Jellyfish Lake, and it's home to millions of golden jellyfish that have become trapped and isolated over millennia. What makes them so strange? With no natural predators in the lake, their stingers have evolved to be so weak that they are essentially harmless to humans. Swimming here is like entering another dimension, surrounded by a silent, pulsating galaxy of golden orbs that gently bump against you. It's a breathtaking and beautiful phenomenon, a perfect example of how isolation can create a unique and wonderful ecosystem, but one that is incredibly fragile and sensitive to environmental changes. For number 17, we head to the frigid waters of the North Atlantic, to a place grimly known as the Graveyard of the Atlantic. This is Sable Island, a thin, crescent-shaped sandbar off the coast of Nova Scotia. This island is constantly shifting, sculpted by wind and waves. Its strangeness comes from two things: its notorious reputation for shipwrecks, with over 350 vessels claimed by its treacherous sandbanks, and its most famous inhabitants, a population of around 500 wild horses. While legends say the horses swam ashore from shipwrecks, They were more likely introduced in the 18th century, with many descended from animals seized during the Acadian expulsion. They roam free across the dunes, having adapted to the harsh environment. The combination of wild horses on a windswept, desolate island littered with the ghosts of shipwrecks makes Sable Island a place of haunting beauty. Number 16 is less of an island and more of a geological exclamation point, rising over 550 meters from the Tasman Sea. Ball's Pyramid is the world's tallest volcanic stack, a jagged spire of rock that looks like a lost fragment of a fantasy world. It's the erosional remnant of a shield volcano that formed millions of years ago. For decades, this imposing and nearly inaccessible rock was just a dramatic landmark. But in 2001, it became the site of an incredible discovery. Scientists found a tiny population of the Lord Howe Island stick insect, a creature thought to have been extinct for over 80 years. This tree lobster, one of the rarest insects in the world, had found its last refuge on this single, isolated spire, turning a geological oddity into a critical site for conservation. At number 15, we travel to the largest uninhabited island on Earth, a place so alien that scientists use it to prepare for missions to another planet. This is Devon Island, located in the Canadian Arctic archipelago. The island is a polar desert, characterized by a barren, rocky landscape, freezing temperatures, and a vast impact crater called Houghton Crater. It's this landscape that makes it the perfect stand-in for Mars. Since the late 90s, scientists at the Flashline Mars Arctic Research Station have been using Devon Island to simulate life on the Red Planet, testing rovers, spacesuits, and strategies for extraterrestrial exploration. It is a world of stark, empty beauty, a silent, frozen landscape that gives us a glimpse of what it might be like to stand on another world, all without leaving our own. Coming in at number 14 are the Kerguelen Islands, more aptly known as the Desolation Islands. Located in the southern Indian Ocean, they are among the most isolated places on Earth, more than 3,300 kilometers from the nearest populated location. The islands are a harsh, windswept landscape of tundra, glaciers, and rugged mountains, constantly battered by ferocious winds. There is no native human population. The only inhabitants are a rotating group of 50 to 100 French scientists and researchers who staff a permanent research station. The island's true rulers are the massive colonies of seals, penguins, and albatrosses. A journey to Kerguelen is a trip to a world devoid of human comfort, a place that powerfully demonstrates the raw, untamed beauty of nature at its most extreme. Number 13 is a remote, uninhabited atoll in the eastern Pacific Ocean, with a history so grim it sounds like a horror novel. Clipperton Island is a ring of coral surrounding a stagnant, acidic lagoon. In the early 20th century, it was mined for guano, but was abandoned during the Mexican Revolution, stranding about 100 people. Cut off from all supplies, the inhabitants began to suffer from disease and starvation. The situation culminated in the self-proclaimed king of the island, a lighthouse keeper named Victoriano Alvarez, terrorizing the remaining women and children until he was killed. By the time a rescue ship arrived in 1917, only a handful of survivors were left. Today, the island is a protected nature reserve, its morbid history a stark contrast to its ecological importance for seabirds. Our 12th strange island is the last refuge of one of history's most famous mutinies. The Pitcairn Islands are a group of 4 volcanic islands in the remote South Pacific, but only one is inhabited. Its current population, hovering around 50 people, are primarily the direct descendants of the mutineers from the HMS Bounty and their Tahitian companions, who settled here in 1790 to escape British justice. This shared, dramatic history has created a unique culture and language, a hybrid of 18th century English and Tahitian. Being one of the most remote inhabited locations on the planet, life on Pitcairn is a study in isolation and self-sufficiency. It's a tiny, living museum, a community bound together by an infamous act of rebellion that unfolded centuries ago. Coming in at number 11 is an island whose mystery has captivated the world for centuries, Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. Located thousands of kilometers off the Chilean coast, this is one of the most remote inhabited islands on Earth. Its fame, of course, comes from the nearly 900 monumental statues known as moai, created by the early Rapa Nui people. These colossal stone figures, with their imposing faces and enigmatic presence, are scattered across the island. Some stand proudly on ceremonial platforms, while hundreds of others remain in the quarry where they were carved. The enduring mystery is how and why this small, isolated society carved, transported, and erected these massive statues, and what led to the collapse of their civilization. The silent, watchful moai give Easter Island an aura of profound, unsolved history. At number 10, we find an island that looks like it was plucked from a sci-fi movie and dropped into the Indian Ocean. Welcome to Socotra, part of Yemen. The island is so isolated that a third of its plant life is found nowhere else on the planet. Its landscape is dominated by bizarre and wonderful flora, most famously the dragon's blood tree, an umbrella-shaped tree that oozes a crimson-red sap. There are also the bloated bottle trees that look like they belong on another world. This unique biodiversity has earned it the nickname the Galapagos of the Indian Ocean. Despite political instability in mainland Yemen, dedicated tour operators continue to facilitate access for those determined to see this otherworldly ecosystem, making it a bucket list destination for adventurous travelers. Number 9 is an island whose name alone sends a shiver down the spine. Devil's Island, off the coast of French Guiana, was part of a notorious penal colony from 1852 to 1953. It was a place reserved for France's worst political prisoners, most famously Captain Alfred Dreyfus. The name, however, came to represent the entire brutal system, where prisoners faced disease, abuse, and a near-zero chance of escape, thanks to shark-infested waters and impenetrable jungles on the mainland. The ruins of the prisons, now being reclaimed by tropical vegetation, stand as a haunting memorial to the thousands who suffered and died there. The stories of suffering and despair are baked into the very soil, making it a place of palpable sorrow. For number 8, we journey to the most remote inhabited archipelago in the world. Tristan da Cunha is a tiny speck in the South Atlantic Ocean, with its nearest neighbor, St. Helena, over 2,400 kilometers away. The island's entire population of around 250 people lives in the single settlement of Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. With no airport, the only way to reach Tristan is by a multi-day boat journey from South Africa, a trip made only a few times a year. Nearby lies the aptly named Inaccessible Island, a sheer cliffed nature reserve that's home to the inaccessible island rail, the world's smallest flightless bird. This entire archipelago is the ultimate example of human and animal life adapting to profound isolation. Number 7 looks like the set of a post-apocalyptic film. Hashima Island, also known as Gunkanjima, or Battleship Island for its distinctive silhouette, is an abandoned concrete metropolis off the coast of Nagasaki. From the late 1800s until 1974, it was a bustling coal mining facility, at one point boasting the highest population density ever recorded in the world. Miners and their families lived in a labyrinth of concrete apartment blocks, connected by a maze of corridors and staircases. When the coal ran out, the mine closed, and the island was abandoned almost overnight. Today it is a ghost town of decaying buildings and personal belongings left to the elements. A concrete skeleton that serves as a powerful, eerie monument to Japan's rapid industrialization. Number 6 is an island paradox, a stunningly beautiful tropical paradise with a dark and cursed reputation. Palmyra Atoll is a remote, largely uninhabited atoll in the Pacific Ocean, now owned by the Nature Conservancy. It's a wonderland of pristine coral reefs and abundant wildlife, especially sharks, but it's also shrouded in tales of shipwrecks, ghosts, and unsettling mysteries. Its most infamous story is the 1974 double murder of a sailing couple, a grim event that became the subject of a best-selling book. Many who have visited report an inexplicable feeling of dread and unease. Access is heavily restricted, reserved mostly for scientists. Palmyra remains a place of two extremes: a vital ecological haven and a remote, eerie location with a history of death and mystery. Coming in at number 5 is the most remote uninhabited island on Earth. Bouvet Island, a Norwegian dependency in the South Atlantic, is almost entirely covered by a thick glacial ice sheet. It is desolate, frozen, and almost completely inaccessible. What makes Bouvet so strange isn't just its extreme isolation, but a bizarre discovery made there. In 1964, a survey expedition found an abandoned lifeboat in a lagoon on the island, with no signs of its occupants or any wrecked ship. To this day, no one knows how the boat got there or what happened to its crew. This impossible discovery adds a layer of haunting human mystery to an already otherworldly and inhospitable landscape. At number 4 is an island whose name is synonymous with one of humanity's most destructive creations. Bikini Atoll in the Marshall Islands was a peaceful home to islanders for centuries. That all changed in 1946, when the United States began using it as a nuclear testing site. Between 1946 and 1958, 23 nuclear devices were detonated here, including the 1954 Castle Bravo hydrogen bomb, which was 1,000 times more powerful than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The explosions vaporized entire islands and left a legacy of intense radioactive contamination that persists to this day, making the atoll uninhabitable. Below the surface, the ghost fleet of sunken warships from the tests now lies in the cratered lagoon, a haunting, radioactive graveyard that serves as a chilling testament to the Cold War's terrifying power. Number 3 takes us to the Venetian Lagoon in Italy, to an island widely considered one of the most haunted places on Earth. Poveglia Island is strictly off-limits to visitors, and for good reason. Its dark history began when it was used as a quarantine station during the bubonic plague, where tens of thousands of victims were sent to die and be burned. It's said the soil there is still composed of human ash. Then, in the 20th century, a mental hospital was built on the island, where a doctor allegedly performed horrific experiments on patients before he met his own grisly end. Today, the island lies abandoned, its decaying hospital and mass graves fueling endless ghost stories. While a local group was recently granted access to begin developing a public park on a portion of the island, its haunted legacy is hard to shake. Just off the coast of Brazil lies an island so dangerous that the government has made it illegal for anyone to visit. At number 2, this is Ilha da Queimada Grande, better known as Snake Island. The island is the exclusive home of the golden lancehead pit viper, one of the most venomous snakes in the world. When rising sea levels trapped them on the island thousands of years ago, the snakes evolved to have incredibly potent venom to instantly kill their prey, migratory birds. Estimates suggest there can be as many as 1 to 5 snakes per square meter. Access is restricted to the Brazilian Navy and a few select researchers who must be accompanied by a doctor. It is a terrifying real-world fortress of lethality. And at number 1, we arrive at our final destination, perhaps the most unsettling island in the world, Isla de las Muñecas, the Island of the Dolls. Located in the canals of Xochimilco, near Mexico City, this small island is home not to strange wildlife or a military past, but to thousands of dolls. Weather-beaten, decaying, and dismembered dolls hang from every tree and building. According to legend, the island's longtime caretaker, Don Julian Santana Barrera, found a young girl who had drowned in the canal. Haunted by her spirit, he began hanging dolls he found in the trash to appease her ghost. For 50 years, he collected and displayed them, creating a grotesque and eerie shrine. In a tragic twist, he was found in 2001, having drowned in the very same spot where he believed the girl had died. From radioactive ghosts to lands ruled by snakes, the world is full of places that challenge our sense of reality. Each island tells a story of isolation, survival, mystery, or tragedy. So, which island did you find the strangest? Let us know in the comments below. Our planet holds endless secrets in its most remote corners. These islands are more than just strange destinations. They are reminders of nature's power, humanity's darker chapters, and the enduring mysteries that are still waiting to be discovered. Thanks for watching.